because if you don't have the right quality tool and you screw up the bearing pulling it out, you got a mess. All right, welcome back to the channel.
Hi. Hi.
On this video, we're going to be doing a stage 2 on Mr. Kenneth's bike from Georgia. He drove a couple hours to have us do the work for him, and we sure appreciate it. This is a 2016 with a 103.
I can get 70 miles to the gallon on this hog.
It has the CVO wheels on it. Beautiful paint job. We're going to be doing a full stage 2, which will include new Bassani headers, the S&S MR103 chain drive cams, new inner bearings, ThunderMax, set of SVT bone shakers, brand new breather. We're looking forward to seeing how this one turns out. So hang in there. We'll be right back.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, we're going to start off this morning with taking the bags off and the seat off. We found where he's missing the seat bolt, so we'll probably put him a seat bolt in there for him. Went ahead and got the ThunderMax in. We'll get that started. And then Tony's going to go ahead and pull the plugs and the headers and the breather and the cam cover and all that kind of stuff this morning. So we're just getting started. All right, normally we do the ThunderMax last, but I'm gonna go ahead and start on it as one of the first things. We can go ahead and get the map installed and everything like that. So, all right, first thing we're gonna do is put the VIN number in. All right, so there's the VIN number, tested, and okay. All right, so we're gonna go in here and pick a map. It's in there. So let's write that into the bike. All right, so the map has now been written, and we're going to cycle it 3 times.
And now for something completely different.
All right, we've got it down to the time to pull the cam cover off. Rear cylinder's in the right position. Both push rods can spin, so that's going to allow us to cut these out. Then we'll go from there. This bike's getting the S&S 585 cams, ThunderMax set of headers, new breather, so should be a good running bike. Some of these parts we'll reuse off of these for the new push rod tubes, but most of it we won't. Snap. Perfect. All right, now we can come on out with the cam plate, oil pump, and all that stuff, and move forward. How many times do you think you've done this, Tony? In the hundreds?
Yeah. Already.
In the hundreds. At
Already.
least the hundreds. After a while it becomes repetitive, but you always have to pay attention, because as soon as you get comfortable with something, something's going to go sideways, and then it's going to be a really expensive issue to deal with.
Yep, it will be.
So we're going to be installing the fueling tensioner shoes when we go back together with it. These last a long time. As you can see, the old tensioners have a little bit of wear on them. So we're going to get those replaced. Perfect. All right, so the cam gears are off. Now we won't move this motor again until we go back the other direction. So we started with the rear cylinder, top dead center on compression. Basically that means that your timing marks are lined up. And then cut the push rods out. You always want to make sure you can spin those push rods by hand or between your thumb and your forefinger. Make sure those push rods spin. That tells you there's no tension on that rear cylinder valve spring tension at all. So then you can move the timing mark 180 degrees out, which will put you on the front cylinder top dead center, but you always want to make sure you can spin those push rods. That's what he did the last part where he cut the push rods out. And then you do all your work, and then you work your way backwards. You adjust the push rods on the front cylinder when they go back in, and then turn the motor backwards 180 degrees. That puts you top dead center on the rear. You can finish assembly that way and then move on. Sometimes oil has the washers sort of stuck to it. That's what he was trying to do, is remove that washer. All right, so in this case, we're going to go ahead and leave the oil pump connected to the cam plate so we don't have to realign all the gears. That should come out as one piece. It sure does. All right. Under close inspection, let's look in there. We want to look at those bearings. And they are the old style bearings. So those will be pulled and replaced. Very good. All right, it's time to pull the bearings out. This can be tedious. If you're going to try this at home, you better buy a good tool.
Yeah.
Don't buy no cheap stuff off of Amazon. I promise you.
You don't know that.
You need to spend the money on the good quality Gems tools. Because if you don't have the right quality tool and you screw up the bearing pulling it out, you've got a mess, a real big mess, meaning pretty much pull the motor out and split the cases. So think twice before you buy an Amazon cam bearing tool. We speak from experience, years and years of experience. So if you're going to have to buy a new tool, you might as well pay somebody to do the job, because you'll have about the same amount of money, and you're probably only going to do this one time in your life at home, so it's really not worth buying the tool. He's literally using a threaded rod, hardened steel, to pull the bearing. And it's the same process in reverse. You just push it in with a threaded rod. So we'll take a look at the bearing when it comes out. There you go. And Tony will show you what the bearing looks like. All right, see the difference in the rollers? The top one here, how many rollers are in there? Okay, see the number of rollers in there? This is the stock one. This is the new one. Twice as good. So, literally twice as good. So that's what goes back in there.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, we modified a tool so we can do two at the time.
Yep.
Going back in. Coming back out, you have to do them one at a time, but still
no
have
impact.
Yeah, don't use an impact. Do it by hand. You want to feel what you're doing. You want to know if you're crushing the bearing, and listen for crunching. If you hear crunching, you've went too far. It's a mess. Let me explain this tool while we have a minute, Tony. So what happens if you don't know what's going, if you've never seen this before, this rod right here goes all the way through, and it expands fingers out like that, which will keep this part of the tool, which has fingers on it, from collapsing. When he spins this big nut in there, he's pulling this threaded part this way. If this rod wasn't in there, those fingers would collapse and it would destroy the bearing. That's why I said about a quality tool. These tools last a long time. The ones that you get off of Amazon are made out of inferior metal. The metal will pretty much just pull apart in the bearing, and you have to be careful. So watch how he does this. If you listen closely, you can hear a little snap, which is the bearing releasing from its seat. All right. Now you can see that the race in there is really clean. There's no bearings. There's no damage to the races. So that was successful. We didn't have any trouble. Fresh O-rings go in. That one's for the oil pump. Down at the bottom. And you got two smaller ones. Oil passages. And then we'll go right in there with the cam plate, factory oil pump, factory cam plate, and new S&S 585 cams. There we go. She's in. All right. Cam gears are in. Pulling out the original lifters now. So we pre-soak our vacuum pack, if you will, oil in the lifters when we get them. So these are ready to go. Okay, just to review, we are at the point where we are going to install the S&S adjustable push rods. We have installed new S&S lifters, gaskets, O-rings, new inner cam bearing, new cams, new tensioner shoes. And we're going to be moving past that with the new headers, new mufflers, and we'll finalize the ThunderMax. We're also going to be going on with the high flow breather. All that is coming right up. And we are back this morning. We're going to get started doing the adjustable push rods. See if we can get that set up. Then we'll put the exhaust on, the breather on, and then fire it up, get the ThunderMax set. Maybe by then it'll be warmed up. We'll take it for a test ride. All right. Most people know about adjustable push rods. Some people don't. This is for those that don't. An adjustable push rod by S&S. These are called the quickie push rods. So this push rod will collapse short enough to get it up into the area that it needs to go, which is in this area right here. So it will collapse short enough to go in. So what happens is it will spin out like this. It has a lock nut on it right there. But we'll spin it out, spin. And then the lock nut will catch some threads. And then we start counting flats. This is a flat. So it's 24 flats. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on to 24, which is probably about like that. And then you just lock the lock nut down, wait for the lifter to bleed, and that job is done. Hopefully that helps some of those that don't really understand what an adjustable push rod does. And again, this is not regular maintenance adjustable. It means you adjust it out one time to the proper length. All right, Tony's going to go ahead and install an adjustable push rod. What he's using there is a tool we made to keep the push rod tube out of the way. It's just a piece of stretchable cord with a little hook on it that you hook around one of the bolts up top. It keeps the chrome push rod tube out of the way while you're working. You see there how it holds it up. It's like a third hand. Now what he's doing is he's unscrewing that bottom part of the push rod, and it'll seat to the top of the lifter, this area right here. The bottom part of this push rod is going to go into that lifter like that. All right, and then he'll back it out 24 flats, but you want to get it seated, so generally we give it about a turn before we start counting, half turn or so, just to make sure that it's seated. He likes to mark one of the flats so he can keep track of where he's at. Okay, so that was 4 turns, which equals 24 flats, depending on how you want to do it. Now, he's going to put a drop of blue in there. Some people say don't do it. Some people say do it. We do it because we don't want them coming loose. It's sort of embarrassing when a customer calls and he's 10 miles down the road, and we've test rode the thing for 50 miles, and the customer comes and gets it, and he gets 5 miles down the road and the push rod comes loose. We don't like playing that game, so we use a little dab of blue Loctite. Saves us from that. I don't know why anybody would say don't do it. I don't understand that theory, but there's people that say don't. We say do.
A little dab of do.
A little dab. Don't take much, just a little bit. So now what we're going to do is wait for that push rod to do what's called bleed down, to go to what's known as 0 lash. And when he can spin it between his fingers, then we know that it's at 0 lash. He can already do that. So that's a that's a good sign. Now he's going to go ahead at this point and secure that final push rod, and then we'll move to the rear.
That's what she said.
We'll put the rear cylinder on top dead center at compression stroke, and then we'll do those. That puts the cam on what's called the base circle. The base circle is the round part, not the egg-shaped part, but the round part of the cam where it's not trying to lift. Now we're putting the header on. This is a Bassani header, and it uses the factory heat shields. It does not have the factory converter, but it does have an X pipe to help with performance. Okay, we got the mufflers installed. Set of SVT bone shakers. Yes, sir. This bike's gonna sound good. So all that's lacking now is just the breather and some heat shields, and we'll get this thing fired up for you. Hang in there. While I got you here, I want to let everybody know that we now have t-shirts available. You can order them right here at the bottom of the screen down below. We have t-shirts and sweatshirts, hats, hoodies, everything. So they'll come directly to you. They're printed just for you, printed one at a time. So it's about as close to a personal shirt as you can get.
I did not know that.
Okay, it is finally assembled with the crown jewel on it. So now the next thing we're going to do is fire this thing up. And I'll set the camera up so that we can all monitor what it's doing real time, and we'll go from there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and turn this bike on, make sure we're in neutral, and I'm going to let this thing run live, see what happens here. I'm just go ahead and, we got to plug it up though. I got to plug it in. I forgot to plug it in. Got to plug it in. Okay, it's ready to go now. It's going to go ahead and sync up. We're going to pull the map out of it so that everything is current, and then we'll crank it up and see what it does. Oh, we got to put spark plugs in it.
Sorry, sir. I'm doing my best.
Got to put some spark plugs in it. It ain't got no gas in it.
It ain't got no gas in it.
Now we got spark plugs in it. So we'll continue. It's always something, but we got it. We got it going now. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and hit the monitor button up here. We want to see what's going on. And let's go to the right page, air fuel, AFR correction versus engine temperature. Now I do want to read, let's read the map that's in there. Make sure we've got everything in order here. Okay, now let's monitor and fire it off and see what happens. What we're looking for is our AFRs, and they just came into play. How about that?
How about that?
So far, so good. This is a really good example of a good map choice. And so far, it's acting like we want it to. Still learning. We're going to give it 2 or 3 different sessions, up to about 180 degrees, and then we'll go from there. So, give it patience when you're doing one of these jobs. Let it do its thing. As the temperature rises, the AFRs are getting much better. They're staying pretty well within tolerance. That's what we want to see. All right, we're at 170 now, and everything is very stable. Exactly what we want. The idles come down to normal idle. Bike sounds great. All right, we've reached 182. So I'm going to shut it down. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do an auto map. Probably don't need it in this case because it's such a good setup as far as the way it's reacting. But we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. So to do an auto tune, shut the bike off, wait for it to unlink, if you will. Wait for the link light to turn red, then turn it back on. Wait for the link light to come on, and then you're going to do your auto tune. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so up here under map editing, second choice down, auto map, just click OK. And then it gives you a new starting point. So as soon as we get this thing cooled back down, which I'm going to put a fan on it, it's cold today, so it won't take long. As soon as it cools back down to about 80 degrees, 70 degrees, somewhere in there, we'll do another run up on it and see how it reacts. And there you go. We'll let it cool down and do it again here in just a few minutes. Okay, the bike's cooled back down. Let's check the temperature on it. It should be around 80 degrees, 75, 80 degrees. Let's check it and see. All right, we're gonna hit our monitor key. Yeah, we're at 78 degrees, that's good enough. All right, let's do another run up. Okay, that was the second run up. We'll let it cool down and do a third. So hang in there. Okay, we're back. We're going to do a third run up, final run up, then we'll take it out for a test ride. We're down to about 87 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and do another run up and get back with you in just a few minutes. We're going to listen and see if we can hear them pull down the road. Okay, so the test ride is over, and I'll let y'all hear it straight from the horse's mouth. What does it need, dude?
It don't need nothing.
It don't need nothing.
It's perfect. It's perfect. No chatter, no nothing.
So we live about, I don't know, 2 miles, mile and a half, 2 miles from a river bridge. And so I was standing out in the yard and listening, because it's a cold, sort of a cold, it's actually the last day of 2025.
Yeah.
It's New Year's Eve. Real crisp, clear day, and I could literally hear Tony pass 2 cars about 1.5 miles away from here. We're real happy with the way it turned out, and we appreciate you watching, as always.
Oh yeah.
So don't forget to like and subscribe if you like our stuff. If you don't, we're glad you watched anyway. I'm Steve. This is Tony. We'll talk to you later.